So I was smoking so much grass, so everything I found was the most terrifying and exciting thing.
Right.
So the bone was like...
There's just intense paranoia through the whole process.
And so it's funny that you mentioned the marbles, because I haven't known why I need to bring it up, but there was this... that was a horror movie.
It hit you. It registered.
Yes,
like I saw the marbles are a big piece of that experience.
For me, the gun, I was like, to Aaron, I'm like, honey, I know that this could be a cap gun. I'm not an idiot.
Yeah.
While I had a joint in my mouth with no shirt on, I see what he got there. And I was like, the license plate, and then I had a bag, and as I pulled it up, when I saw marbles, I could have started crying. I was like, what kind of animal?
Yeah.
And she's like, well, it could be just a kid's marbles. And I'm like, thank you for saying that, because I was in an utter panic. But so I found all that stuff, and I called the LAPD. And I told them what I'd found. I said, I found this stuff in my yard. And they said what they say in the movie. We took that scene directly, which was a few discussions if we were going to do it, and then we decided to. And the woman on the other line said, it sounds like a bunch of garbage. And I go, or a dead person buried in my yard, but that's why I'm calling you. She goes, what would you like me to do about it? And I said, well, you're the police. She said, it's not our job to dig out somebody else's garbage. So if you find a dead body, then call us and we'll come. Years later, Joe and I are talking. We did the movie Drinking Buddies, and we loved working together, and we wanted to make a movie that was somewhat of a follow-up to it, but not a Drinking Buddies Part 2. For no other reason besides we wanted to do something different. And so I pitched him this loose idea about the dead body. He got excited. We started talking.
Oh, okay.
And then started talking about, we didn't want to make a movie just about digging on the side of a hill. So we started talking about a relationship and what it meant, and then a few months later we came up with an outline for Digging for Fire.
How many Stand By Me as a kid?
Over 500.
Same here. I mean, that was a movie that
adore it.
my brothers and I just
love it.
Could end, and we could just rewind it and start the movie right back from the beginning.
In the final scene where he hears the voiceover and he's writing, to this day I get emotional. And the arc of a group of people saying, what do you want to do? Do you want to see a dead body? And you drop everything to do that, because what else is there? Is, for me, going back to our conversations about story and filmmaking, that's story.
Yeah.
That you frame it with, I'm a writer now.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy I was. Will I ever have friends like this?
Yeah.
But what's the story about? You're building towards seeing the body, and you see it, and then something happens.
Yeah.
And so that aspect, we talked about Stand By Me a lot for Digging for Fire. But then we really, and I credit it, while you weren't here before, you brought the Swanberg isms to it, and that is a really intense adult relationship and the ins and outs of marriage.
Well, when you started talking to me about the story, it just immediately started to register for me in those terms. Like, it was so natural that stuff came to it, because thinking about this guy, I mean, I know you were telling me a story about you, but thinking about a man in his backyard with his grown friends on a sort of Stand By Me mission immediately makes me think of a guy who is yearning for a sense of childhood that got lost somewhere along the way. He's like, I still need an adventure. Like, I haven't reached my quota of adventure yet, and there's something going on here. And I'm like, who is that guy? Who is his wife? Like, where is this desire coming from to still do this? To, like, get the boys together and to, like, have this night.
Totally.
And it's sort of that, it's also, I just thought